When I was about 13, I slept over at my friend's house. I slept on the floor facing the doorway, which was left open. At around 3 a.m., I woke up and swear I saw a ghastly apparition of a sobbing woman in a wedding dress floating down the hallway towards me, disappearing just before she reached the doorway. I eventually got back to sleep and chalked it up to a weird dream. A few days later, this same friend casually mentioned seeing the same ghost or spirit or whatever. I had never told him about my experience. I slept at his house innumerable times over the next few years, but never in that same room, and I never saw her again. Several years ago I was staying at my uncle's house in a room next to their garage. My uncle and I were supposed to go fishing early the next morning. I woke up and it was pretty dark out, but I saw the silhouette of a guy leaning on the wall looking at me. I assumed it was my uncle and started talking to him. "Yeah, I'm getting up, let's go," I said. I walked right past him to turn the lights on. Turned around and there was no one there. What the hell? I might be dreaming, I thought. I didn't think about this again for a couple months. I was over at my uncle's house again for dinner when his wife says, "I gotta take Uncle Benny's ashes to the mountain and spread them. He's been here for a while." I was like, "Who's Uncle Benny and what are you talking about?" Apparently Uncle Benny is my aunt's uncle who had died several months before I went to my uncle's house. His ashes were in the garage next to where I was sleeping. I wonder if he was looking at me thinking, who the hell is this guy? I used to work for a cleaning company and one of the places they had me go to was a restaurant and church. It was surrounded by a graveyard. Though to be fair, I live 5 minutes away from that graveyard walking. Most of the time I'm cleaning in the very early morning. We're talking around 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm cleaning all by myself and no one who works there comes in until 9 a.m. For the first 3 months it was fine and I wasn't feeling spooked or anything though. One day in early August I'm just going downstairs to put some supplies away when I'm hit with this sudden and intense feeling of danger, as if something was telling me I wasn't welcomed there. It took every fiber of my being to not abandon my supplies and get the hell out of there. I completed my work, but I was very close to tears the whole time since the unexplained fear just wouldn't leave until I was out of that building. From that point on I would get random attacks of fear and eventually I started seeing a shadowy figure that would cause the motion detecting doors to open and close randomly and turn on the stereo in the kitchen at random hours for random intervals. I was able to find a better job and peace out as quick as I could, only training my replacement for one day, and refused to step foot in that place again. Night shift in a hospital. Went to the toilet, both cubicles empty. Sat down to do the business and someone started crying in the next cubicle. Bolted out of there, the other toilet was empty. Different night. Soon after I started working on this particular ward. Sat at the bottom of the ward, so me and another nurse could get a good view of everyone. Without looking up from her notes she said, "Footsteps are back again." I said, "What footsteps?" She just said to listen. Heard footsteps come from the top of the ward to where we were, then go back to the top end. She didn't even flinch, just said, "You get used to it." There were some other issues with that particular unit. Eventually a priest came to bless it, and crashed his car on the way home. It has been decommissioned now. So anyone who rides horses regularly will knows, being the last one at the barn sucks. So I was the last person, so I had to shut off the lights. I had to take my horse back to the barn, but where he was kept was not in the main barn. So I shut off the lights and started walking down the path to the other barn. I didn't have my phone on me, so I just used the moonlight. Mind you, this horse is bomb-proof, he never spooks. I'm walking down a path when he suddenly stops and throws his head back and rears. He has whites in his eyes. I look at what he could possibly be spooking at. I assumed it was an oddly placed shadow, but I couldn't see much, except eyes. I saw human eyes in the shadows. I'm about to scream when my vision goes blank for a sec. I'm still standing and my horse has calmed down. I shake it off and continue to the barn and put him away with no problem. Thanks for listening. Hit the subscribe button for more videos about scary paranormal things. Share your own experiences in the comments below, and remember to check underneath your bed, just to make sure there is no one or nothing waiting for you.